There is a perfect example of motherhood out there. We've all felt its presence. It lingers in our social media feed, in the products we buy, the answers to the questions we research. Even though we know it's not real, we feel it spotlight what we could be doing better.
Join two best friends as they step off the stage of motherhood and go behind the scenes with moms from different walks of life.
The Momcult Podcast. Real moms, real talk, real tired.
Welcome to the Momcult Podcast. I'm Sarah Parker Massey.
I am Joy Todd.
And this is...
Oh, it's me.
No. Our guest today is Caitlin Mello. She is the brand director for the Nashville Football Club.
Nashville Soccer Club.
Nashville Soccer.
Creative
Soccer
director.
Club. Creative director. Yeah. Oh, because my title is brand director, which I don't... Somebody else picked that, and I don't like it, so I want to... You know what? I'm going to change it.
Okay, do it.
Creative director of the Nashville Soccer Club. She is an incredible designer, an artist. She's done a ton of cool murals around town, and she's just all-around badass. So,
Yay!
welcome, Caitlin.
Welcome.
Very flattered.
Sarah made us some pre-batch Negronis. Cheers.
Salud.
Cheers. Thank you.
I'm a lightweight, so I'll just be real wasted by the end of this.
I feel like after COVID, I'm the opposite of a lightweight.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, that's good.
Yeah.
Caitlin and I are like weird, like travel friends.
Yeah.
We have just been on trips together mainly.
What?
Because of Shannon.
Look, I came into this not knowing that... I literally thought y'all had never met. I mean, I thought maybe you had, but I knew Shannon. Okay, I know that
It's
connection.
also Nashville. It's
Yeah,
a
right.
small-
But it's like, but mainly through Shannon, like her birthday parties, things like that. Just
Nice.
like group events.
We went to the
is
beach
when
one time.
Yeah, we've been to the beach together, Mexico.
We lived together.
really funny conversations with Marley, which I'll maybe not repeat here because it's TMI about poops.
Oh, nice. Yeah. We like that. Oh, no, we talk
remember that.
about really, really disgusting things. That's mostly what the show is. Marley is your daughter, and she's 13. Is that right?
Yes, 13, going on 14.
Nice.
Going on 22.
Yeah.
The official
too.
teenage years have begun.
Yes.
Yeah.
Did you feel a transition from preteens to teen, or is it?
Not really. I mean,
Okay.
she's always been kind of mature for her age, just being the kid of a single mom,
Yeah.
you know? Like, she's always hanging out.
An
All
only
my
child,
friends,
yeah.
only child. Oh, well, she has a brother and her sister. Her dad is remarried
Oh,
and has
gotcha,
a brother.
okay.
So she's but she doesn't call half. They're her full brother and sister.
sweet.
But for all intents and purposes. Yeah, they're 6 and 3, so a lot younger. But
Oh, wow.
Does she babysit?
she definitely does. And she's all about making that money.
Oh,
so.
yeah.
I was about to say, is she for hire?
Yeah, she definitely is. She wants me to build her a website, actually.
Oh, yes.
We're working on her branding.
No problem.
You can add a scheduling feature. That would be fantastic.
You can
on
call
it.
her the brand ambassador.
Yes,
for
yes.
whatever her thing is.
And I'll take a cut from all things.
Yes, you will.
Joy, how are you? What's new with you?
I'm good. Let's see. With Penny, I'm in the middle of which I totally forgot about this, but when you're changing them and they just want to twist over the whole time,
Yeah.
they're so annoyingly strong, and I have to like physically pin her down with all of my strength while
Right.
she's screaming just to change her diaper, and she's starting to get a little handsy.
And she's got some thighs.
When
Penny's got
with
some
her, I'm like, I'm trying to
amazing.
change her, and she reaches her hand down, and I'm like, no, and I just don't have enough hands to
Yeah.
just like keep her still and not let her get shit all over herself. So that is not my favorite, but she is the fun things that she's starting to do. She's starting to pull herself up on something and dance. And she's
Yeah.
dropping it. And then
cute.
she's just started a couple days ago. I can like pretend to like chase her, and she
Loves that.
she freaks out, but in an excited way where she like, you just can see the emotions. She cannot contain her like, so that's pretty fun.
That counterbalances the poop thing. If I can interject into your check-in, when does that stop? Do you know? Because like Parker's been doing that for like 2 years. He's been alive
old
for
is
2
Parker
years.
now?
Yeah, I don't know.
2 and like 4 months.
Okay.
I don't remember.
Yeah. He's just
I'll keep
really
you
hates it.
No,
Hates
you
it.
keep me posted.
Today he wouldn't let. Oh no, I'm sorry. I'm hijacking. That's because I'm drunk. Sorry. Carry on.
2 sips in, it's over.
Okay, sorry. Go on with your check-in, please.
With Ava, let's see. A good thing is I've been having a hard time, as if anyone's been listening to the last episodes, of just trying to connect with her at this age. and this new development phase that she's in. And one of the things that I've started doing for myself is I've had like a meditation app on my phone forever, but I've really been trying to make myself do it every day. And she's been doing it with me. And when we're done, she'll be like, what are 2 things that made you feel stressed out today? And like, I don't know, like I can get her energy down, and then I feel like, okay, now we can have a conversation or talk about something meaningful. I don't know, it's just been really nice. And then she's asked to listen to them when she goes to bed. She's been falling asleep a lot easier.
Whoa.
So that's been nice. I don't know how long it'll last, but yeah, now I just like I've been talking too long.
You haven't been. Okay. I'm like fully turning down my phone off because I feel like this is going really well so far, and I really don't want to screw it up with my phone.
And then something frustrating with her that's been happening is, again, that balance of like, are you a kid? You being a kid and also you needing to be responsible, but then her sometimes acting older than she should, and knowing as a parent, like she's probably really confused as to what what we need from her at this age. Yeah. Because she'll ask for, they're always asking for stuff. It never stops. And so I'll just get so annoyed at being asked for about something all the time. Can I have a snack? Can I have a juice? Can I have this? Can I go that I'll just be like, just go. Sure. Just go. Do it. I just don't want to be bothered. But then when she goes and does something without asking, I'm like, what are you doing? You can't just go get a soda whenever you want. You have to ask. Then when she does ask, I'm like, ugh, yes, just go get it. Leave me alone.
Sounds good. That sounds good.
Yes. Well, that's just more on me. Like I need to figure out which team I'm playing for.
Yeah.
Of the like, you go be responsible or not get frustrated when she asks me for things.
Yeah.
Anyway.
Actually, I shouldn't. I had a similar thing recently. I was reading about attachment styles. There was basically that exact thing, asking for something, and then whenever you get the thing that you want. I mean, that exact thing. And I noticed that I do the same thing. I don't think that's just. Right. I think recognizing it is the whole thing.
Right. Well, then I'm good.
All right. Great. Okay, that's taken care of. You're solved.
Moving on. How are you this week, Sarah?
I'm good. Key is starting to be able to communicate in like a real way, and I can understand him and know what he needs. He can understand me. Like we can have, it's just clicking into like this other level where I'm like, okay. Because there was like a 2-week, and it's all so temporary. I say that every single episode, but it's like wild how it's like 2 weeks of like,
it still is.
This is, yeah, this is hellish, or this is incredible, or whatever. And then it's completely different. But right now it's like we can talk. Oh, one thing that he's noticing how much if I'm on my phone, like putting it down on my chest and going, no. Like he really is aware of it and knows that takes me away from him. And I'll be like looking for something for him and just fall into it. Like I wish I was a better illustrator. I would draw that. I'm sure someone has fallen into your phone. It literally is that. So I've been setting like a screen time limit and stuff, and that.
Does that work for you? Because I've done that, and every time it's like screen time over, I'm like,
and you're like,
ignore.
Nope.
Yeah, no, I do that, but it does hinder. Actually,
you silly phone. I'm not
15
stopping
minutes.
for you.
Just 15. 1 minute. Yeah, 1 minute.
Snooze.
Yeah.
Snooze.
Well, like the things that I use all the time, I'll keep those like unlocked, like podcast apps or something like that, camera. And yeah, it works on Instagram. I'll be like, no, I don't really need to do that. I mean, not every time, but it does. That extra step really helps.
Yeah.
So I love all that. Is that something that you deal with Marley, or do y'all do no screen? Like, what's your
now we're
screen?
trying to figure out her screen time and all those things I was like the mean mom who didn't let her have a, smartphone.
Yeah.
All her friends had it, according to her. Until she was 13, she had a flip phone.
I love that.
And, I was so mean for it, and everybody else gets to, talk to each other, and I'm left out. And so now just trying to figure out, like, how much is too much, and how much is connection with friends, and how much to trust her, and, do I check her phone, or do I...
Yeah,
I just kind of laid
privacy.
Yeah.
Like what?
I feel like the answer is yes, but also she seems. I've met her maybe twice. She seems. I said I wouldn't say this, but she does seem perfect. Like from the outside, she just seems like such a good kid.
I mean, I'm biased, but I do feel like she's a great kid. That's for sure.
It's really y'all's relationship seems so connected, and y'all seem so in tune and like so healthy. And this is all from social media, pretty much.
Of course,
but
But it's a blessing and a curse, though. It's funny because we really are. But like, I was dating someone, and she was like pissed. I mean, she was like I'm not meeting him because he's not coming into our space because this is our space. And I was like, well, damn, what did I do? You know?
Yeah.
I kind of created this like monster of, we're two peas in a pod and nobody else better come in here.
Yeah.
So, it's a blessing in terms, but yes, it is pretty great. We bond, and I try to trust her. I think I just said, don't put anything in your phone that you would not care if I picked it up at any time and looked. I haven't done that yet, but the threat is out there. So
Yeah. My mom taught me that with like a journal.
yeah.
Dorinda Medley from The Real Housewives of New York says, or I guess a lot of people say it's classic saying, say it, forget it, write it, regret it.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I try to think of that.
Yeah.
But then I write things and like lock them, and it's too much. It's drunk. Just edit that out. Okay. Thanks. Stopping talking.
We did have this kind of cool journal thing, speaking of journals, where like if she was upset about something, she would like write it and then put the book on my pillow, like if she felt scared to say it or something. And then I could read it. And then I could process it or something, and then write her back.
Ava
and like,
does
put it
that
back
too.
on her pillow.
She's if she has something that needs to be confronted, she always just writes a note.
Yeah.
And like
Yeah.
slides it over and then runs away.
Yeah. Usually it's like, I don't even know it's there until I'm going to bed. I'm like, oh, there's a note on my pillow. What's happening? Yeah. And then I'm like, oh, shit, I didn't think about this. I really hurt her feelings. Damn.
That's cool, though. I love that.
Yeah. It comes in and out, sometimes more so than others. But, teenage years.
Yeah.
Sometimes she'll just act really moody and go to her room. But not as much as you would think. Everyone keeps saying she's going to, just wait, she's going to turn into a teenager and she's going to be awful. And I'm like, I don't know. Maybe she's
okay
not.
so far.
She's okay so far. We have our moments, believe me. But one time I smashed a cake on the ground. So your
Like in
illusion,
anger?
yes.
Nice.
So your illusions of perfection are totally
That's still kind of perfect, though.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm into it.
Yeah.
I wish that were on Instagram.
I like that
I couldn't
visual.
get the door open. I was like holding a cake. She was complaining about something, and I was so frustrated with the door and her. And then I was just like, God damn it! And I just smashed the cake, which is pretty much like a drop the mic. Okay,
I'm done.
Okay, Mom.
Yeah.
Clearly you've had a bad day.
Yeah.
That's still like a really cute meltdown, though. I'm sorry you experienced that, but
Except she was so mad. She was like, I really wanted that cake. But, all good. I think apologizing when you do something like that is definitely one of the mom tricks that I'm learning to show. We all do really stupid stuff, and you can always say, I'm sorry. And man, wasn't that funny? I was a big mess. And you witnessed it, and wow, yikes. I had that moment, and she'd be like, okay, so when I have those moments, I can apologize too. So I think that was, there's a lesson of it all, I guess.
It's been nice, Ava, kind of being able to witness me with a baby and just like, she is very aware if Penny's being super fussy or like she gives me a lot of grace. I can like feel her giving me grace when she can tell I'm like at my limit with the baby. It's very sweet.
that is sweet. Did you always want kids?
I did. I was actually had a single mom. She got remarried, and I was like, I'm going to do it the right way. I'm going to get married. I'm going to have 6 kids and all this stuff. And then it just didn't quite turn out that way. But I did always want kids. But I was in New York. I was dating someone. We broke up. I went to Peru to teach art to kids. I was working at Allure magazine, and I was tired of all the superficiality, and I'm like, I'm going to quit my job, break up with my boyfriend, go to Peru, teach art, climb Machu Picchu, and it's going to be great.
Sounds great to me.
Yeah. And then Machu Picchu is like 17,000 feet above sea level. So
Yeah.
I just was feeling weird and tired, and I was staying with a Peruvian family, and they didn't speak English, and I went to this Peruvian doctor, and I was like, I'm just feeling weird. And he's like, oh, chew on a coca leaf. It's altitude sickness. Coca leaves are like cocaine.
Right.
Yeah.
Nice.
So I did that. I climbed Machu Picchu. I was like, I'm just going to power through this. Keep chewing on those coca leaves.
Yeah. Still to this day.
I feel great.
Yeah. Awesome.
Ordered them in bulk, shipped to my house.
Yeah. Remember how you said Marley is like so awesome? I mean, maybe
why.
this is the secret.
There's a certain
energy
filter
is
that I
high.
see her through.
Long story short, I was there for 2 months, and then I was like, I think I need to go back to New York. I'd quit my job at the magazine, and I was going to do Teach for America. And I got back and I was like, man, I'm still feeling so weird. And my friend was like, could you be pregnant? And I was like, no way. I'm not pregnant. I was like in Peru for the past 2.5, 3 months. She's like, well, couldn't you still be pregnant? I'm like, nah. So we took a pregnancy test, went to brunch and had Bloody Marys. And I was like, I'll check it when I come back. And they came back and I was pregnant. So
Unbelievable.
yeah. So
It's definitely the best finding out I'm pregnant story I've heard so far.
So I always wanted to have kids, but it was like the way that it went down was very like, okay, so here we go. And then the funny thing is that when I broke up with her dad before I left, he didn't want to break up. And I got back, I was like, I have something to tell you. We were in New York. And I was like, meet me in Union Square. I'll meet you on the steps. And I think, he thought I was going to be like, I'm so sorry, let's get back together. And he comes with flowers. And I'm like, so, I'm pregnant. And he was like, wow, okay, let's get married and let's do all this stuff. And I was like, no,
No, thank you.
I don't really want to do that. And, we just didn't work. And I just knew that having a kid and doing that was not going to make it work any better.
Right.
Yeah, so that's the long answer. I always want to have kids. I did, but it was definitely not like I planned, but I wouldn't have it any other way at this point, honestly.
Right. So when did you leave New York?
So I made it about 2 years in New York with Marley. And so I went back to the magazine. I was supposed to Teach for America or whatever. And I was like, there's no fucking way.
Right.
Oh, sorry. Can I cuss on this or not?
You can do whatever you want.
Okay, you can bleep me out.
So I like it.
Sorry. Throwing a
No, don't be sorry. Yeah.
So I was like, I got to go back to doing what I was doing before because I can't start, going to school and all the stuff and having a kid. So I worked at the magazine. I made it about a year. Then I was like carrying her. I had a cart of clean laundry after being in the laundromat for like 2 hours doing all my laundry. It was like snowing. I was like crossing the street with this fresh folded laundry with a baby that's been in the laundromat for 2 hours. And like this, like out of a movie, this truck comes and like sprays me with all this water and the cart falls and all my laundry's in the like nasty, dirty, slushy snow. And I was like, fuck New York, I'm out of here.
I can't do this. I can't believe you did it for 2 years.
Yeah, it was like a year and a half. And then I like kind of went back and forth taking some freelance jobs for a while. And then finally I was like, I'm going back. Yeah. My mom was like, I'll help you.
And you were like, yes. Please.
I'll take it.
I will take that.
Yeah. And then I ended back here. So many people that I know.
Wow.
Which is great.
That was going to be my question. What's your support system like? Or did you?
Yeah, my mom's super awesome. She's, her and Marley are more like probably than Marley and I are in some ways. So they get along super well and have a really great relationship. She's been dating a guy for 15 years. They don't live together, but they swear that's the secret of any
cute.
relationship. It's not living together. But so he's like her, grandpa-ish. Yeah, and then all my friends. And I had a kid so much earlier than everybody else. So now Marley's 13. And like you guys and Shannon and Leah and a lot of my good friends had babies in their 40s. So now Marley's 13 and we're like circling back Marley's the support system and talking about babysitting everybody.
Yep.
Which is cool. But it's also like, I'm sure you guys...
It's its own version of isolating, yeah.
Yeah. And I'm sure you guys have talked about this before, how like different phases of being a mom and like connecting to your friends.
Yeah.
And so yeah, it's different when your kids have babies on a nap schedule and you're like, I'm over this.
Yeah.
I'm over the hump.
Yeah.
She's 13.
Yeah,
Let's go out.
I was going to be so furious if when I got pregnant with Penny, no one else was having kids again.
Yeah.
No, this time I want to like
and now you
have
do.
people that are in it with me.
Yeah.
And so that's really nice. But I still, because of Jeremy's job and being a DJ, I still love to go out whenever I can and go dancing. And it's actually really hard to find friends that can go do that with me.
Yeah. Well, call me. I'm down.
Done. Add you to my short list.
Yeah.
You're very, this has nothing to do with us, but just a quick aside. You're very, it seems like, how do I work this in to make sense? Well, okay, well, no.
Just say it. You don't have to sugarcoat it.
Okay. You can, no, I mean, well, I'm just going to say, okay, one of the questions that we normally ask is like, what do you do to fill the well or what helps keeps you afloat and rejuvenates you? And I feel like I came from social media, but also knowing you, it's not like we just know, whatever.
Yeah.
No, you get it.
Yeah.
You dance a lot. You go dancing a lot. I feel like you do a lot of activities, but that specifically, like what, there's some place that you go. Where's that place?
Boom Bap?
No, it's like mariachi.
Oh,
like,
yeah, the salsa dancing. Yeah,
Yeah.
the Plaza Mariachi does salsa night on Thursday night, which is super fun. So at 7
Nice.
o'clock you can go, and there's free classes. So a lot of my friends are like, I don't know how to salsa dance. I'm
Right.
like, well, you don't get off the hook.
I have the answer for you.
You can go free classes, and then even if you just watch everybody, it's just like fun.
I've only
Just
been. I took Ava
pure
once.
Joy.
And it was fun,
It's
but I
pure
haven't been
joy.
back.
You did that?
No, I've just been there one time. Yeah.
Cool.
But
Yeah,
not
it's
to
super-
the
It's
specific
super
night.
fun. I mean, nobody's trying to hit on you. It's like purely you dance and then you switch partners, and that's it. And you just like, there's nothing like dancing for sure.
That's great.
I love that. We list resources. I think that's a good one.
Oh, that's a great one.
Plaza Mariachi, 7 p.m. on Thursday night.
Yes.
God, just really chop that up. Okay, wrap it up.
Yeah, so they'll do salsa, and then they'll teach you another type dance. So sometimes it'll be
How cute.
like an African dance, or it'll be bachata or something like that.
Bachata.
Yeah. So it's really fun. You can learn and meet cool people.
That's so fun.
Yeah. But I think the other thing that I do to fill up my well, which you've helped with a lot actually, is like community art projects.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. So murals, and I love doing community murals, and I have a group of friends that are creative women who I like to connect with, and so it's
Yeah.
it's
I was
fun
going to
do.
say in the beginning that you're kind of a connector and creator in that way in the community, but I didn't know how to say, and so I'm glad you said it. But you know, I know what's hard about the little kid stuff, but what's the hardest thing about this time period, being 13, or her being 13? Not
I
you.
think it's like figuring out, because she's always been like a part of conversations with my friends, and like I've taken her to volunteer events and sometimes heavy stuff where they're talking about, you know, stuff that I'm usually just like, is she old enough for this? Am I exposing her to too much? You know, am I treating her too much like my equal and not enough like a kid? Because all my friends will say like, oh, you take Marley everywhere. She's always a part of dinner conversations. We watched the show Shameless, which I don't know if you guys have seen that,
Yeah,
but
love it.
it is
Yeah.
like, there's nothing.
No, yeah.
I mean, she watched all of it. So I'm like, do I let her, like, you know, be exposed to all this? And that's just like kind of where I am now, just trying to figure out, like you kind of said with Ava, is like, when do you let her be responsible, and when do you feel like she needs to ask permission? So then sometimes
right.
she feels like totally entitled to
Right, and-
stuff.
and
I'm
then
like,
you're like,
wait
"Excuse
a second,
me."
you are 13, young lady. You know?
I'm so confused.
Yeah. And I'm like bringing her to a protest about like Afghan refugees, and, you know,
Yeah, that's good though.
you know.
Mom, I'm getting some mixed messages.
Yeah. But yeah, so just trying to figure that balance.
Yeah.
I think any of my friends would probably say that I like been a little more adventurous with her than I have. Certain friends are like, aren't you scared to do that? Like, she has her scuba diving license, and we've gone scuba diving and, you know, taken her by ourselves to Mexico and stuff like that, you know.
I mean, she is your partner in that sense. Like,
Yeah.
she is your life buddy and has been for a really long time. So, like, why wouldn't you want to do all those things with her if that's an available option? And, like, that's the closest person in your life. So it's hard. I will often end up wanting to do things. I'll be like, oh, I can't wait till she's old enough and we can go do this, or we can go do this, or we can go do this. Like, I can't. Like, I cannot wait until she's 21 and we can just go to a cocktail bar and talk about college.
Yeah.
And, like, that just sounds so fun to
It'll
me. But I have no
come
idea if
faster
she'll
than you
want to
think.
do that
She will.
with me.
She will.
Well, Marley told me that she wanted me to, wherever she goes to college, I have to move to. So, and she's 13. She hasn't changed her mind yet. I'm sure it's coming, but maybe that'll happen.
How are you going to break it to her that you're not going to do that? Or do you kind of want to do that?
I'm going. Yeah. She wants to go to all the cool places. I'm like, California or New York or Hawaii, studying marine biology in Hawaii. I'm like, yes, ma'am, I will go.
Do you have some travel, since it kind of, that part of your life kind of got put on pause when you found out you were pregnant? Do you have like all these plans of where you're like, okay, when either whether she goes with you or you go by yourself or with whoever, do you have like a list of like, okay, here's all the places that I'm going to get back to?
I think that's an interesting question, because I've never really like put my life on pause for a kid. Like, it was like, here we go.
Just going to
Strap
incorporate
in.
you.
Yeah.
Yep.
So it's funny because friends have asked me that before, and they're like, man, you just really like, and everybody does it differently. So no judgment on people who do it different, but like, I never really had a like, nap time is this time, so we have to be at home at 2:00 to take a nap. I was like, you can sleep in this thing, or, you know, and maybe that's not a good mom move. I don't really know.
I did that with Ava because, again, no one else had kids.
Yeah.
So, like, well, I'm not sacrificing like my sanity.
Yeah.
To me, the nap schedule was all about what I needed.
Yeah.
Like, I need that break. But it also depends what kind of kid you have. Like, some people have picky kids where they only sleep with, you know, these specific things.
Yeah.
I tried to bring her around as much as I could in the pack and play at other people's houses so that she would kind of get used to being wherever. But I don't know how much of that was me and how much of that was her personality and her being
probably a little
kind of cool
both.
with that anyways. I haven't done it much with Penny just because COVID and like, it's a whole different scenario. I don't have as much desire to be getting out and doing stuff. There's not as much stuff to get out and do and not as many people to get out and do it with.
Yeah.
But Ava was pretty adaptable.
Yeah. I think like when you have a kid, you kind of have these like, these are the important things to me and everybody's are different. Mine was like, she will eat what's on the table. I'm not making anything different. She will hang out with anybody and, you know, be able to hang. Like those are kind of my two things. And like, I probably failed at a million other things, but those are kind of the two things. I was like, okay, these are the two things I'm going to try really hard to
be consistent
with. Like no iPads at dinner, you know, and some people are into that and like, that's fine, but they're so much better at something else. And, you know, my thing was we will fight till the death over you will eat this food.
Did you just innately know how to do those things, or did you read stuff, or do you have any?
I didn't read much. Like, I was a bit of not an anti-mom, but I remember going to a mom group when I was living in Brooklyn and I had a baby, and like I was the first of my friends to have a baby, and I was like, oh, I need to find mom friends, and I went, and it was like talking about kid stuff, and like I was just like,
I hate this.
I hate these people, and I hate talking about poop and snot and like nap times, and I was like, yuck, this is not me. And so I just kind of shied away from all of what you're supposed to do as a mom. I'm just gonna figure this out. And I do think I got a little bit of judgment sometimes from people kind of giving me the stank eye, like, you have a baby in a bar right now? Like, what are you doing? Terrible person. But I don't know. It worked for us. And she's, you know, safe and sound and healthy. Besides those coca leaves.
Besides the coca leaves, yeah.
I was pregnant.
I mean, honestly, like, and both of you really, I think, I learned about you from mutual friends, Caitlin, before we ever met. And then you got pregnant and you had the baby, and I watched from afar, like you, because I was a little young, just a little bit younger. And we watched you from afar, like how you handled that gracefully. And Joy, you've done the exact same thing. Like, I start getting nervous in the middle of my thing, doing it. Just cut that right there. That y'all both, your kids are really adaptable and really flexible and well adjusted and friendly, and you know, maybe
That's really
overthinking
nice to
things
say.
But both of you have similar mentalities about that. I think really, like you always you would bring Ava to a dance party and have like headphones on her, and I really thought that was cool.
Yeah.
Like, you know, because that's what your life is.
Does that just mean we're like more selfish, or like,
No.
I want to have fun, so you're coming?
Yeah, I think one of the perks of being the first in your group or whatever to have a baby is that you don't have all of the comparison. You don't have this umbrella of what you should be doing because no one's doing it. So you're there is some freedom there to be like, well, I'm just going to do whatever. I don't know. There's a freedom to be like, oh, I can do whatever I want. Like, this is my kid. I'm responsible. Like, it doesn't really affect anybody else.
People are very judgmental, though.
Right. And then
you
the more
get a lot of unsolicited feedback. You're like,
Yes.
I didn't really ask you.
I mean,
I had like a mom group,
everything.
I think, that I went to once at like the park, and I was just like, nope.
Yeah.
But I mean, y'all,
These moms aren't my vibe.
Yeah.
you do those things. My opinion on what the key is that y'all both then show up for the questions that come after those things. Like after Shameless, then you have those conversations.
Yes.
Like after a dance party, then you have those, like, you're there for the things after that might make that maybe will make that difficult for somebody who wasn't thinking it all the way through. But
Right.
that's
The
the
stability
difference.
is still extremely
Right.
important.
Yeah.
Like
Yeah.
the constant, like, I don't want a kid that feels like they have no idea where they're sleeping tonight or
Oh, yeah.
something. Like, just more of just
chewing coca leaves.
Yeah. Let's quantify. I
I
wasn't
think
like
we know what the title of this podcast is going to be.
Yeah. I was not swinging like off chandeliers, like partying like
Right.
crazy, but you know, going
Just
out.
doing what you need to do to get by, or being like, wait, just because I have a baby, who says I have to stick to these
Yeah.
kind of general rules I know about? Like, my baby could sleep in their guest room. Like I've got a white noise machine. And,
Yes.
and again, your kid might not do that.
Yeah.
Like you could try it and it's miserable. But I think when you are feeling like you're kind of doing it solo, you're willing to try a lot harder.
Yeah.
To be like, I'm going to try this. I really want this to work. So I'm going to go into it with a certain attitude of like, we're going to try this. If it doesn't work, great. But at least I know I tried. And then it just happened to work, which was some kids it might not.
Yeah, and if it doesn't, you just pack up your stuff and like, bye, I'm going
like,
home
okay.
now.
Like you go with the expectation of like, this could go completely south.
Yeah.
But if you go in with that expectation and it happens, then you're like, okay, well, I was ready for this. So
Yeah.
bye, guys. We'll try again next
Yeah.
time.
Yeah, I tried to keep it very consistent as well, like the balance of like hang out, be resilient, but also we go home and we make dinner and, you know where I am at all times. I'm comforting, within arm's reach.
Right,
you know.
right.
Yeah, I'm sure that didn't come across like to anybody who doesn't know y'all like you're like party animals, but you're both like incredibly consistent, good girl people. Like if anything, I'm like, the one literally chewing coca leaves. No, not literally.
We just want to maintain some sort of social life so we don't completely lose ourselves.
Yes.
Not that we need to qualify or anything for you people.
Yeah.
Stupid listeners.
We do what we want.
Well, speaking of partying, moving into what's your work stay-at-home mom life?
Wow,
status?
that's a good question. I've always, being single mom, it's like I've had to work. I haven't really had the luxury of not work. Not that it's a luxury, but, sometimes I look at my friends that have husbands and I think, wow, I just wish I had your life. You don't have to work and you can have support
Totally.
and all this stuff. But then sometimes I also look at my friends and I'm like, wow, your husband's really moody and you have like a third child and I don't have to deal with that.
Right.
And so the grass is always greener. I actually saw a stupid, quote today, which is probably so cheesy, but it was like the grass is greener where you water it, and I think
I love that.
yeah, so I think I've come to the realization that I do have to work my ass off and take out my own trash and mow my own yard and all the stuff that, sometimes I'm like, oh my God, I just want help. And then other times, like, I'm really glad,
don't
we
have
have
to
our thing.
answer to anybody else
No one's
or-
telling me what
right.
to do. I'm, not that I've always been alone, of course, I've dated people. But, yeah, so working is finding the right work-life balance, I think, because like the current job that I'm in, I'm working so much, and it's figuring out how to balance it and how to working for the soccer team was like a dream job. I love soccer and I love, graphic design but it's trying to figure out how do you do that and do it well and also, be a good mom and have my own time,
Yeah, totally. Yeah, it's a lot to juggle.
Yeah.
Yeah. And I can imagine being the only one there mostly. It's like, yeah.
Yeah.
It's a lot.
What has dating as a single mom been like? Got any good
man.
stories for us?
Steamy.
Please tell us any steamy stories you have.
Well, I probably have a lot, but I'm trying to think of, there's a couple that are probably TMI, but I'll spare those.
We can cut that out.
Yeah.
This
But-
is just for us.
Yeah. Well, so usually my mom, like, speaking of support system, was always like super great support system. I'd be like, I'm, going on a date. And Marley does go to her dad's, sometimes. So it's not like I didn't have any time to myself, which is nice. I have a friend doesn't have any time. But anyway, so usually
Sorry,
my
I
mom.
was laughing at Sarah's eye. Well,
It just
all
was,
of
like,
our eyes.
endlessly
I was
clinking.
realizing, like, I think when you guys took the first sip, I was like, oh yeah, ice was it's gonna be loud.
Going to be a sound effect.
But I'm also thinking
this is very icy.
Yeah.
yeah, but it's like a vibe, though. It's like a Mad Men vibe, Like,
well, I was also thinking maybe people really feel like they're
just
just sitting with us.
yeah, you need to get a
People always
cocktail.
apologize for that sound, and I don't actually mind that. I mind a sipping sound, but the glass sound I don't. If you want more, if you want.
All right.
I mean,
I'm
I'm not
not
going to say no. So my mom, being my support system, if I like need to go on a date or something, I'm like, Mom, can Marley come over? And she's so great. She loves Marley so much. She's like, and do you want her to spend the night? And
like,
so
yes.
you can sleep late in the morning. I'm like,
Yes, I
absolutely.
do.
Yes, thank you. But my mom, if you know her, she's so sweet, but she's extra. And she's like, she's all up in everybody's biz. I mean, she is on every committee is what we like to say. We'll be like,
That feels
This
the
is-
opposite of me.
I love the
wanna
word
be as-
committee. I don't say that
I want to
enough.
be as on as few committees as
Yeah.
possible.
I tell my mom this is not your committee when I'm like, code for get out of my biz. Yeah. And she wants to do things and be helpful, but sometimes they're like just too much. And you're like, it's not helpful. It's actually more stressful than helpful. Mom, I hope you're not listening to this. Anyway, so she was like, I'm going to bring Marley to your house instead of you having to come pick her up. But, dude slept over and like,
Did you like wake up to that text?
Yes.
Like, I'm headed your way.
No, I woke up to knock on the door.
No.
And he's like in my room, and we had been dating a bit, so it was comfortable enough to be like, so my mom and my 13-year-old daughter are at the door. And I'm like, oh God, what do you do? What do you do? What do you do? And he's like, what do I do? And I'm like,
the back window. What's the plan?
I'm like, I'm just gonna put the covers over you in the bed and just be still. Like, they're not going to come back here. It's totally fine. And then my mom comes in and she's like, when I picked up Marley after school, I got all of your laundry and I folded it for you.
I'm going to go put it away.
That's so nice. And she's like, I'm going to put it in your room. And I'm like barring the door to my room. I'm like, oh, no, I'm good. You can put it there. And thank you so much. It was so nice of you. And meanwhile, he's like under the covers and Marley's like looking past me.
And, like, why are you being weird?
And then she drops Marley off. So then I have to figure out how to get him out of the house without Marley noticing. My mom leaves and I'm like, Marley, you can go in your room and be on your iPad. And she's like, you're letting me get on my iPad in the morning? And I'm like, yeah.
Gosh, I feel pretty chill today. Yeah. It's the weekend.
And then I just like shove her in her room and close it. I'm like, go. So yeah, that was a good one.
Hot.
Yeah, that was so hot.
And then I never heard from her again. I was kidding. Not true, I did. But anyways, yeah. But yeah, I mean, I've spent 13 years as her as my first priority. So, I've tried to put dating in the mix, but it's just hard.
Just because of her kind of accelerated maturity, do you feel like, have you sat down with her and talked about how important it is for you and your happiness to be able to
Yes, definitely.
try to find somebody or spend time with somebody, like, and is she able to understand
gets
that?
it, but she's like, well, that's fine. You go do your thing. I just don't want you bringing him in our mix.
In your space.
And I'm like, well, you're with me most of the time.
Yeah.
So, yeah, that's been...
She's fine as long as it's separate.
Yeah, and I think if it was important enough to me and got down the road long enough, I would have to put my foot down and be like, listen, chick, you think you rule this house and you're my equal, and I do treat you like that a lot, but I'm going to have to say.
Right. Or like enough activities out of the house where he's also there.
Yeah.
If it's something serious enough where she gets to have a relationship, get to know that person outside of it being.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So that she can feel like, oh, yeah, well, I like them. So, yeah, they can come over and watch a movie. And
it works out pretty well, really, because she goes to her dad's every other weekend. And so usually I can just
You can like
keep
test drive
separate.
things.
And I'm such an independent person anyways. I don't need to be with someone like all the time. So it's kind of perfect to do that.
Would you ever want to get married again? Or are you like, nope,
I was never married. We never got married.
True. Sorry.
Yeah. I was drunk.
Do you ever... Sarah's drunkenness is rubbed off on me.
It's funny. My mom was married 3 times. The whole wedding thing was never really on my to-do list. I mean, I would do it if it was the right thing, but like the big puffy dress and getting married and all that stuff was kind of like just not my thing. But the partnership and the teamwork and all that stuff sounds super cool. It's not like a check mark on my to-do list, but I would do it. I would not have any more kids, I don't think. Yeah. I mean,
understandable.
Yeah, I love mine, but I think the thought of going back and starting all over again at this point is like, oh, we're on the other side of it, and we do all these adventures, and it's so fun. So I mean,
Ava was 8, and I was just like, I mean, that was such a big part of the hesitation on my end was just like, am I capable of going back to the beginning and starting over again? It just sounds so daunting because I remember all of the hard things, and there's no fantasy this time. Like, I know exactly what I'm signing up for. But I will say, I was feeling the pressure of the timeline of like, well, she's already 8. Like, I can't. I don't want her to get too much older before this happens. And it just took longer than I would have liked
Marley has the brother and sister with her dad.
Right,
She kinda gets
That's
the
true. She doesn't get a
I was an
sibling
only
thing.
child that I know of. This is a whole other story, but I didn't grow up with my dad. He was a heroin addict. So I went to a psychic one time and they said, "Oh, you have two brothers that you just don't know about." He had two. Yeah. So I would.
Have you ever looked into it?
I'm going to. Yeah, I'm excited about that sometime. But yeah, that's a whole nother podcast probably.
yeah.
But so I was like, I always wanted her to have brothers and sisters because I hated being an only child.
Right.
And her dad had two other kids. So I'm like,
That's so
oh,
great.
this was perfect.
Yeah.
She gets the brother and sister.
Yeah.
I just have her, and she, she
Like
gets
she's getting something that I want for her, but
Yeah.
I didn't want to have to
but I
go
didn't
through
have to
myself.
do it. Yeah. I mean, if it had worked out, I would have done it.
Yeah, yeah.
In staying together with somebody, and I would have totally done that. But at this point,
Yeah.
definitely
Yep.
don't think that's in the cards.
Well, speaking of dating casually, I'm gonna roll us into
We moving into pop culture corner.
Pop Culture Corner.
Ooh, I like the idea of pop culture corner.
I want to say first, before this is not cut, that I asked for topics and you gave me a few, and one that I loved was Pete Davidson. So I'm going to give a rundown, just the general topic of Pete Davidson, with basically the thesis is how the hell is he pulling all this leg? So I'm going to give a little background and we'll discuss shortly.
Okay, you ready? And this is Pop Culture Corner with Sarah Helen Parker Massey, and go.
Okay, Pete Davidson is. Look, what's funny is that I know that he's funny, and I know that he's on SNL, but I don't know like a ton about him. I don't, other than that he dates like incredibly beautiful women, and nobody seems to really understand.
And
I know
cool
that.
women.
Right. Heard that he's really well endowed. He has, I'm just going to run down about it. What did I write? Unclear battles with substances. Very tattooed. Interesting looking. That's just my opinion. But I think he's cute. Is it his charisma? Is it his humor? I already said well endowed. That's what I've heard. If they say it, right? That's everybody knows.
I mean, if they say it, what are you going to do?
That's what they say.
That's what they say.
Arguably, yeah, that's what I said. Arguably, the most interesting thing about him is his dating history. Oh, I'm going to say the names.
Okay.
Ariana Grande. This is not everybody, obviously.
5 seconds.
Kaya Gerber, Kate Beckinsale, Margaret Qualley, whose face I love, girl from Bridgerton, Phoebe, whatever. And this latest is Kim Kardashian, which I'm excited about.
Woo! Got them all in.
The thing is that, I'm bad at telling stories
You did
quickly.
great.
So 1 minute.
Except I
think you did
interjected and
great.
messed you up. So
It's okay.
That's okay.
She should get back 5 seconds. I
No, I don't
She's
need any
done.
more.
Oh, okay.
I didn't really have that much to say. I just wanted to
You
talk
can tell
about
when
it.
she's
which
done.
is funny.
She's done.
Okay. Yeah.
It's like I'm excited about the topic, but I didn't have that much on this one. Sometimes I have so much to say. Yeah. So thoughts?
So the reason that I brought this up is because, someone said, Pete Davidson, he pulls all these chicks,
Yeah.
whatever.
Mm-hmm.
And I was like, yeah, you're right. And then I was kind of thinking, like, what is it about him? He's, I think he's authentic. He doesn't seem like
He seems to not.
he doesn't care.
Right.
He's not trying to be cool or whatever. He just, even when he looks kind of dumb, he's fine with it. Anyways, but Marley, my 13-year-old, we watched SNL, and she was like, oh, I hope they do more skits with Pete Davidson. And I was like, why do you say that? And she was like, oh my God, he's so cute. And I was like, what
Why?
the F is it about Pete
Right.
Davidson? Even my 13-year-old is
Yeah.
talking about how she's like all about it. And so, which led me to this
Oh,
topic
good. Yeah.
because I was like, man, he across the board. I mean, he also did Kate Beckinsale. I don't know if that was on your
Yeah, I
list.
said that.
yeah,
Yes,
she
yeah.
said
And, so Marley's 13 and Kate Beckinsale, I think, is 50.
Right. And also, almost none of these people,
So
I mean, there's
clearly
mostly
he's-
brunettes, but there's no, other than they're, stunningly beautiful.
Yeah.
I'm fascinated with it, really. I am. And I want to give you credit I gave you a bunch of topics. A lot of them, as our listeners might know, were really dumb things. You didn't know a lot of those, and you gave me just
I
one
had
or
to
two
Google
other ones.
a lot.
Oh, I'm sorry. No,
it's okay.
you
I
don't
was
need to
like,
know. I don't know how to
know what
say,
this
no,
is.
these will be inane, completely mindless things. Yeah. You don't need to know these things. Yeah. What do you Thoughts? Joy?
Man, I don't really know. I mean, did you watch, what's the movie that he did?
King of Staten Island.
It's in my watch list. I'll watch it in, 10 years.
I mean, I watched the movie and I remember enjoying the movie and I liked getting kind of an idea of where he comes from and his story and his history. He just seems like somebody who, comedies saved his life. That's what he seems like to me. Here's what I admire. Trying to be, I mean, obviously I have a passion for acting and huge empathy for anybody who is trying to do that as a career. And then also, especially comedy, I mean, it's not an easy like I can't. The thought of trying to be like a stand-up comedian makes me want to like shrivel up and die inside. But I kind of play both sides of the coin. Like I'll see things that he'll do on SNL and I'll be like, ugh, that wasn't funny or it didn't land. But then at the same time, I completely appreciate just somebody putting it out there knowing it might fail, because I'm not good at doing that yet at all. So I kind of have I feel like all the things about him. Sometimes there are things about them that can annoy me or be like, yeah, I don't get it. And then there's other things that are admirable.
Yeah.
The same exact things can be annoying and admirable at the same time. I don't know if that makes sense.
Yeah.
I'm not a fan of the dyed blonde hair.
Yeah.
But that's not like just on him specifically.
Yeah, just in general.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think people just like authentic people.
Yeah, vulnerable.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, vulnerable. He's definitely like transparent with all
Right.
his substance abuse issues and emotional, psychological issues. He's like, okay, this is me. Take it or leave it.
Yeah.
And apparently they really want to take it.
Yeah. That is perfect. All right. Thank you, Caitlin.
Yes. Thank you.
Thanks for being here,
inviting me.
Caitlin. It was so good to
It
see
was
you.
fun.
I was excited about today because we've spent time together, but not, when you're with somebody at an acquaintance level, it's rare that you sit down and be like, okay, let's start at the beginning.
Yeah.
Like, that just sounds exhausting if you're at a social function. So I was excited today to be like, oh, this is somebody I know. You know, she lives like 2 seconds from me also.
Actually, I do. I do know that
Yeah.
because I've dropped it. Yes. Mm-hmm.
So when she talked about mowing the lawn and stuff, like
Yeah.
how sometimes she wishes
You saw that. You
She
were
does do a lot.
Yeah.
She does a lot of work in her front
Yeah,
yard
her
that
yard
I
is really cute.
personally
Yeah,
witnessed.
I saw you guys walking by in COVID to do the greenway lots
so
of
many
time.
COVID walk-bys.
Yeah.
But I was excited today to be like, oh, I'm going to get to like know more of Caitlin's story. So thank
Have
you
you guys
for sharing.
had any like single moms on your
No,
podcast?
You're the
you're our
first.
first one.
Yeah.
So it's a different perspective, I
Yep.
guess.
Yes,
Yeah,
definitely.
of course.
Yeah. I'm going to do a new thing. I wrote it in the thing that
Okay.
you saw. You can follow Caitlin at, so Caitlin Mello? Mm-hmm. CAITLINMELLO. And follow Joy at
Ooh.
Tiffica, TIFFICA.
Don't ask why my name is that. It's a long story.
It's fun. You can find some things on YouTube. It's Dreamsicle. No,
No.
321 Famous.
321
If you Google, that's 3-2-1 Famous on YouTube. You'll want to look that up. And also, while you're there, look at something called Dreamsicles. You probably can't find that, but they'll be in orange jumpsuits. Just look
But I
that
don't have
up.
anything to do with dreamsicles.
Well, it's just all in the same vein.
Yeah, whatever. It's family.
Yeah. And
Maybe we
mine's
should
too.
say other things that we think other people should follow that we like, that are interesting follows.
That's a good one.
right.
You got one? Go ahead.
I would say my friend Alicia is this powerhouse woman in the North Nashville community, artist who I think I like talked to you about.
Yeah,
her
you
doing
did. You
mural
did.
before.
Yeah.
And I just think following people that you don't know and they're doing good things in the community is just good to learn about. And she's amazing.
Can you spell her
Yeah,
name?
spell it.
Oh man, oh yes, I can actually because her handle is at Queen Bee Inc.
Oh, I follow her, yeah.
QUEENBEEINK. She does a lot of work in North Nashville with the arts community, and she's amazing. But also, I think just following people that aren't like you or don't look like you and give you a different perspective on the world is always good.
Yeah.
So I'm blanking on that right now, but maybe I'll come back with that later.
I love that. Okay, that's a new part of it too. Okay, next time, new things.
And she's
the
a
podcast
single
has
mom.
changed
yeah.
now.
Well,
Oh,
she's a single mom. She's amazing, blazing trails, and
Her work's
she
incredible.
she was the first Black woman tattoo artist in Tennessee, and basically they were like, you can't tattoo on black skin because it won't
Right.
show up. And she's like, oh, really? I'll show you.
Yeah.
So I don't know. I just love, especially single moms who are blazing trails.
Well, we'll have to have
She's-
her on sometime.
You should. Oh my
Yes,
gosh.
please, hook us up with her.
She would be the best guest ever. She is so fun and has so many stories to tell, and she's just my favorite. But
Done.
Exciting.
yeah.
My Instagram handle's too long, but whatever. Moving on. You can look at it on the Momcult podcast. I'm going to change it soon. Just don't worry about that. Momcult podcast on Instagram also. And if you want us to keep doing this, let us know and leave us a review.
Oh, wow. She's like
iTunes.
really going in this time. Okay.
And we'll take 5 stars only. If not 5 stars, then don't leave one.
Episode 6. It's all really happening.
Yeah. This is the Google Doc. I printed
Sarah's
it.
ready to like get this train going.
Yes.
My friend, shout out Mr. Aaron Dissler, Mr. Aaron's Goods. His wife Callie offered to trade us some pasta for a plug, so we'll be expecting that payment.
Wait, us as in me and you, or you and Eric? Because I want some
us.
pasta. Oh, okay.
What? No,
Eric doesn't get
any.
pasta.
I better get.
This is
some
another
pasta.
connection that we have is we played soccer together.
Yes, yeah.
Sarah and I and her husband Eric played on the same soccer team.
Yes, and Caitlin is incredible at soccer. I'm terrible at
she
soccer,
is.
but I was like conquering a fear, so it's fine.
Right.
Oh, you were
right.
so great. It was
No,
so
no, no,
fun.
no. But I really enjoyed it, and it was really fun.
It was really fun. Yeah.
Caitlin's like really good at soccer.
I wish
you
I could
guys
have
play
seen Sarah
anymore
try to
after
play
that?
soccer.
We did like 3 years of it.
Yeah.
I feel like, yeah.
That
It was
was
a
fun.
thing for a minute. I remember.
I like to do it again.
Yeah.
There's no
if you guys-
time though. I don't know how
yeah.
anybody. We had a bunch of people with kids, and it's like, how the hell were y'all getting
I know,
there?
Exactly.
It's crazy.
Well, I love you guys.
Love
You too.
Yeah,
Thanks for
being
having me.
here.
This
Of
is great.
course. Oh, perfect. Thanks for the Negronis, Sarah. They were delicious.
Thank you.
Even though you talked them
Agreed.
down a lot, they did the job.
Definitely.
I feel less stressed than when I
Yeah,
got
it made
here.
it easier to talk for sure. I'm always behind the mic or the camera
Yeah,
or the
yeah.
computer screen. I'm always the one producing the stuff
Right.
and not the one talking. So I
Yeah,
was a
we try
little-
to make it as casual as possible.
Yeah, I was a little bit nervous coming in. Like, man, I'm usually not the one talking.